Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justina and here I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you through my DIYs. So it is finally November and I am super sorry that this video is coming out late. I did have some little bit of family trouble this past week with one of my little ones, but everything is totally fine right now. So I am jumping full force into Christmas. Today, as you see by the title, I have a 5-foot Christmas decor piece that I absolutely love. I've been wanting to do this for so long and I finally found the time to do it. And it is super customizable to fit your own decor needs. If you like it more bright and cheery, you can do it that way. If you have a certain color theme that you always do, you can always decorate it that way as well. But I'm super excited to share it with you. Now remember, if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free and we would love to have you here. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you're enjoying it, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it and let's art today. To start off the project, you're going to need 4 laundry baskets, 2 large ones as you see here and 2 smaller ones. All of these you can find at Dollar Tree. Now depending on your size of decor piece that you want to make is the equivalent of how many laundry baskets you may need. Now I am going to make a 5-foot snowman using Dollar Tree products, and to connect each basket I'm going to use some zip ties and some hot glue. So as you just saw, I just showed you get 120 zip ties for $1.25, and I thought that was a reasonable price for how much you are actually getting. Now I do want to admit that those zip ties are really cheap and you can break them if you squeeze them too tightly, but nonetheless they do work perfectly for this project. I just need them to hold the basket into place while I have time to assemble it all together. Now as you just saw, I flipped one of the baskets on top of each other. This will be my first stack, and I'm just using the zip ties to hold it together until I add little bits of hot glue in between the baskets, but the zip ties hold it into place, so the hot glue is really unnecessary. This is my first time trying to attempt this 5-foot snowman, so I do make some mistakes on the way, but I will mention them as I go along, so if you are following along you won't make the same mistakes. Next, I'm taking those medium-sized laundry baskets. Once again, I purchased them from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to flip it over onto the other basket and then zip tie them in place so that it holds down nice and tightly. This will be the second tier of my snowman. Once again, it will become a 5-foot snowman, so if you want something smaller, that just depends on how many baskets you use. After I was done assembling all of the baskets together, all I'm doing is removing the excess zip tie with a pair of scissors, and that way I can start assembling and they won't poke out of the snowman. This is how they look side by side, but you will want to stack them to make your snowman look like this. Now I should have mentioned that you need to round out your basket so that it looks more like a snowman. I thought I can just make it with it looking just like that. However, it still works out to my benefit, but it can be a little bit rounder, which I should have took the time to do, but nonetheless, I still loved how it turned out. Now to attach the top baskets to the bottom baskets, I'm just using a little bit of my hot glue and a Gorilla glue stick, and I'm just attaching it down. And then I still use a little bit of zip ties to hold the two together. I used the longest zip ties in that package that came with 120, and then I removed the excess once again with a pair of scissors. Now that everything is nice and secured, it is now time to assemble it a little bit further by using an old poster board. Now this poster board was going to be thrown away anyways, and I just used it to paint on. However, I needed a bottom for my snowman to protect my floor and also give the illusion of the snow being around my snowman. So I'm just using a little bit of hot glue and I'm attaching it down to my poster board by just adding little beads around the baskets. After that is done, now it's time for the fun part, which is adding the snow onto the snowman. And I'm using this Loctite tile foam from Walmart. This one is bright white, so this will look like snow the best. However, I have used great stuff also just to fill in the gaps. With this stuff, I have noticed that it doesn't expand as much as the great stuff. However, it still gives the illusion of snow. When I use the gray stuff, as you will see later on, it has this yellow tint to it, but I didn't mind it because I did cover it once again using this tile foam right on top of it, so you don't even see the great stuff underneath it. Now, as you see here, I'm just pressing lightly all along the edges and adding it right on top of each other so I can start building up my snowman. This is where I noticed that I should have rounded out the edges a bit more with either a pool noodle or maybe some cardboard, so I didn't have to use as much of the spray foam as I did. Now, if you are recreating this, that is what you should do, or maybe find a basket that is a little bit rounder. After the foam had 4 minutes of time to set up, I am using a little bit of water in the spray bottle and a glove to push the foam onto itself so it has more of a snow-like texture instead of just foam right on top of each other. Now, if you decide to do this creation, please make sure you wear all of the protective wear that is supposed to be worn while making this. All of those are listed on the bottle itself. If you are inside, make sure you're in a well ventilated area like I am myself. And as you see here, here's how it looks so far after the first section of the snowman is covered. I will continue adding foam all the way up to the top basket, and as you see here, I'm just adding one more layer of foam right on top using this little swirl technique, and then I will wait the 4 minutes and press it onto itself again. Now, this part is where I messed up because this is unnecessary because I do attach a different part for the head and I could have used the baskets to attach it. Nonetheless, it still worked out. And now I wanted to add lights. Now my foam had time to completely dry, and to attach my lights, all I did was add a little bit of hot glue at the top and then press down my lights in the hot glue so I have another attachment if I needed to add lights. Now I am just going to wrap this around my snowman, and these are LED lights. I purchased these, I believe, from Walmart years and years ago, so I'm not really quite sure. However, they are LED lights, so they won't bother the foam because they do not get as hot as other lights tend to do. I will continue wrapping the lights all the way around my snowman until it is completely full, and I did leave a little bit of a tail with the lights so I had room to plug them in either on the wall or with an extension cord. And as you see here, my kitty cat was interested into seeing what I was creating. He's always in my business. After that was done, I needed to hide the light, so once again I'm going in with that white foam that I purchased from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add another layer of that all over the lights so I can hide the lights and also try to round out my snowman as best as I can. Once my second layer had time to completely dry, it was now time to attach a head for my snowman. Now I was going to originally just leave it the size as is, however, the head of my snowman didn't look like a head, so I have this beach ball purchased from Dollar Tree around the summertime, and I'm going to attach it using hot glue. But before I add the hot glue to the ball, I'm adding painter's tape so that it can be a blocker from the heat of the hot glue, and then I can attach it to my snowman. I also added more painter's tape to hold it into place so that when I add the foam on, it will be nice and centered. Here is what my snowman looks like after I attach the ball to the top, and I did add a hat, so I have a good picture of what he may look like. Now that everything is nice and dried, it is now time to add the lights to his head. Now, I didn't have the same exact lights that I had for the bottom of his body, so I did purchase another set of LED lights from Dollar General, and they are a different hue of white. However, I did not mind one bit because I just loved how it turned out. And once again, I'm just wrapping the lights all around the beach ball, and in between I'm adding more painter's tape just to hold it in place while I wrap it around his head. After I attached all of my lights to where I like them, I then started adding more spray foam all over my ball. Now, I first started around the neck area, and then I held it into place because after 4 minutes, I wanted to manipulate the foam so that it looks more of a neck. I pushed in the foam until it had that curvature of a neck, and then I added more foam right on top of the rest of the ball. This time, I went in an up and down motion so I can manipulate the top portion to look more of like a head rather than a blob of some sorts. While that is drying completely, it is now time to make the little accessories for my snowman. I have this little Easter egg that was made out of foam, and I cut it in half to make the 2 eyes of my snowman. Now, I must admit, I did change this out later on. However, this is a way that you can make little eyes for your snowman if you have some of these Easter eggs hanging around your house. After I painted them white first, I then went in with a Posca paint marker and made the little color of the eye with the light blue as you see here, and I'm just going in a little C motion and then filling it in. After that was completed, I took black acrylic paint and a paintbrush and added the pupils to each one of those Easter eggs. What I should have done was painted the whole thing black so it looks more like coals for the eyes. Either way, I still loved how it looked. I did have to take a family vote, and like I mentioned, I did change this out later. Now for the mouth of my snowman, I did paint some of these foam glass fillers that I had from Dollar Tree, all black, so it looks like little pieces of coals for his smile. And once everything had time to dry, it was now time to assemble everything together. So here are the 2 eyes that I had originally, and I'm just placing it right on top of some of the lights that were poking through, so I had a visual of where I wanted to add the eyes. And then I found this plastic carrot in my Easter collection that I'm just using for his nose. Now to attach the eyes, I did use a lot of hot glue on the back of it, and I'm just placing it right on the snowman's face and holding it down until it completely dried. Once again, I'm doing the same exact thing for the second eye. Once that had time to dry, I then took a couple of skewer sticks and I'm placing it in the center of his face. This way, the skewer sticks can also hold the weight of the carrot nose. Now I'm just pushing it inside of the foam, and then I will add a lot of hot glue into the hole so that it can hold the skewer sticks into place. And then I'm going to add another bunch of hot glue all around the carrot and inside just a little bit so that when I place the carrot on the skewer sticks, it will hold on to those wooden skewers as well. Now I am attaching those little foam balls onto the snowman using my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to glue them spaced out about 1 finger length from each other and curling it up so it looks like a smile. What I really love about this project is that you can customize it however you see fit. If you wanted to add string for the smile instead of these little balls, you can do so. You can even draw on the face if you need to as well. There is so many different ways you can customize this little snowman, and I absolutely loved how he turned out. Now for his hat, as you see here, I purchased this from the 99-cent store. It was $1.99 around Halloween time, and I thought it was a perfect fit. I am adding some hot glue around the edges and hot gluing it into place. I also had little pins in the hat as well, so after I glued it down, I did push in those pins also. Now it's time to decorate my hat. I just found some leftover greenery that I had on hand, and I'm just applying it onto his hat using some hot glue as well. I have some branches from old floral picks, and I found this broken snowflake in my stash, and I didn't mind that it was broken because I am hiding the broken piece with a bunch of berries off another floral stash that I had on hand, and I'm just going to keep adding stuff until it is to my liking. The last part I added was a little silver bell. Once again, I purchased that from Dollar Tree. Now, every snowman needs a scarf, and I'm going to make one out of this decorative ribbon that I purchased from Dollar General. This is a 2.5-inch ribbon, and it's 30 feet long for $5, and I thought that was a great price for the amount of ribbon that you are going to get. I'm not sure if Dollar Tree sells the same amount of ribbon in their plus section just yet, but keep an eye out because they are, I believe, cousins or sister stores or whatever. As you see here, I'm just pinning the ribbon onto itself so I know the placement of where I want my scarf to hang, and then I'm just going to attach it using my hot glue gun. I am using a popsicle stick to hold it into place so I do not burn my hands. And as you see here, I'm folding the ribbon over. Now for my scarf, I wanted to add a layered look, so I have this other ribbon that I had on hand, and I'm just going to add it right on top of the ribbon that we just laid down. Once again, I am using my hot glue gun to attach it to itself. I also cut off camera the tails of the second ribbon so that I can just place it right on top of that little section that we're making there. Now I wasn't too worried about covering that because I will cover it later on with a little decorative piece from Dollar Tree. But first I wanted to add little dovetails to the ends of each of those ribbons. Once I was done cutting the ends of my ribbon, I had looked through some of my Dollar Tree ornaments, and I found this tag that says Holly and Jolly, and I thought it would be perfect for the little centerpiece of my scarf. I'm just attaching it once again using my hot glue gun and a Gorilla Glue stick. Now if you want a more permanent hold, I suggest using E6000 or a super glue. So after I was done with that, I did take a step back and I thought something was a little off, so I had to take a family vote. It was his eyes that were catching me off guard, so I took off the eyes and I painted them completely black. Now these are the coal buttons for my snowman, and I'm just attaching them once again with hot glue right onto his body. Then I found a large set of buttons that were from an old Halloween costume from one of my little ones, and I got permission, and they are my new eyes. For the arms of my snowman, I wanted to keep it with Dollar Tree as much as possible, so I have two of these little small white Christmas trees that they sell each year, and I'm just manipulating it so it looks like a tree branch. Now if you do not want to do this part, you can totally skip it and go outside and find some tree branches. I did not find any tree branches in my neighborhood, so I just opted out and used some of Dollar Tree's white Christmas trees. Now you can always spray paint these brown if you need to, so it looks more like a tree branch, which I'm still contemplating if I need to do for my snowman. But after everything had time to completely dry, that completes this DIY. Here is is how my 5-foot snowman turned out. I absolutely love it. I've been wanting to make one of these for quite some time, and I'm so glad that I was able to do it this year. Now, he is not my best work. However, I still think he's adorable, even with all of his little uniquenesses. Per se. I just love him, and so does the rest of my family. So I actually am really proud of this one. Now, I do want to reference how tall he is. My Christmas tree to the right over here is claimed to be a 6-foot Christmas tree, and I did measure with a measuring tape of how tall he is, and he is 5 feet tall. So if you do not want this as big, you can always change it up so it can be as tall as you like it, maybe a little smaller or even taller. As you see here, he is all lit up, and I absolutely love it. Now, it does have a different hue around his head. Once again, I do not mind that, but if you do mind it, make sure you purchase all of the right lights for your snowman. I am really excited for this Christmas season to spend with my family in our new house, and I am super excited to decorate with him. I believe I want to put him in the front yard and have like a little snowy scene. If you are wanting to see how I decorate my front of the house, please leave me a message down in the comments below. But I just love how he looks. If you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free, but don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, I would love for you to be part of our virtual art family. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you being here, and thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. It really does help out my channel. And if you can, please share it to at least one friend or family member who loves Christmas as much as we do. If you would like to see more photos of today's DIY or past DIYs, I do have other socials where I upload photos of all of the DIYs that I've created down in the description box below. All you have to do is click more, and then you will see them linked down there. I have a Facebook, an Instagram, and also a Buy Me a Coffee page if you would like to help support my page even more. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, I will see you in the next one.